Like lightning like Steve McQueen. I'm in the fast lane when the light turns green. And I built tough, I ain't nothing but grit. Cause I made rugged blood, sweat, and spit. Yeah, like a horse I fly. Better push yourself in for a bumpy ride. I like to play hard, but I work harder. And I weather the storm cause I'm built stronger.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. We are live. It is the Freight Coach Morning Show, the top morning show in transportation, coming to you guys every single weekday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central, to break down some industry headlines and, most importantly, provide some actual insight into what you can do with all of this information. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. This is the real side of freight, ladies and gentlemen. And what do I mean by that? I mean, I only speak to transportation professionals on this show, as well as my twice a week long form podcast, you guys, because I want to put the right information out there from the people who have done what you're looking to do or who are currently doing what you're trying to achieve, you guys, so you can apply, utilize, and see a meaningful difference in your business and your life. It's one of the many, many reasons why when I'm in studio, I proudly fly that American flag behind me, but I got it on the hat. You know, don't worry about that. I have it on the hat every single day, you guys, because at the end of the day, I'm A, we're the greatest nation on earth, but B, I'm living my American dream, and I want to see help each and every one of you live yours as well. Yeah, you guys, I am coming in live from Mexico. Viva Mexico. We are international now on this show, you guys, technically, because we're streaming all over the world in different countries. It's Friday, you guys, are Q&A day. All right. So at the end of the day, or not at the end of the day, excuse me. If you have any sales or operations related questions, drop them in the chat. I will answer them live on the show. I always get people DMing me questions throughout the week. So I'm going to start off by answering them. But if you have any questions you guys want answered, drop them in the chat right now on YouTube or over on LinkedIn, you guys, and I'll answer them live on the show. But before we get started, as always, you guys, I got to give a shout out to my friends over at VHub, vhubapp.com. Whether you're a broker, carrier, or shipper, we all need access to trailers. And the best part, you get paid to move these, you guys. So that's on top of the revenue you can get by loading these out. And then furthermore, it's like if you're a small fleet or an owner op, you guys never have to shut your operation down because you have a trailer in the shop. Or as a broker, you're out there building your book of business up and you need to provide an enterprise level solution. You can now do that, you guys. So what they're working on, they have San Diego, California, going to multiple locations throughout the United States, you guys. You get paid anywhere from $1,100 to $2,200 per trailer to move these, you guys. They have roll-up vans as well as standard 53-foot swing doors going everywhere from New York, Texas, Mass, New Hampshire, Arkansas, Indiana, Michigan, Missouri, Tennessee, Minnesota, you name it, you guys. They're literally going everywhere. They also have Paragould, Arkansas, going up to Mississauga, Ontario, and you get $736 US to do that. And then they also finally have Stoughton, Wisconsin, going to Milton, Ontario, and you get $525 US to do that, you guys. And then again, it's just like they don't have to pick up at those locations where the trailers are currently at, you guys. You guys can move them to where your shipper's at, drop them on site, get them loaded. They just got to end up in those destination cities. So hit them up, vhubapp.com. My friends Stacy Steen and Zach Lonergan, they'll be in the audience. Just do me a favor. Let them know that the Freight Coach sent you. Tracy St. Clair watching over on YouTube. Good morning. There's my man Zach Lonergan right now, coming in loud and clear and international. Appreciate you, bro. John Paradise, good morning, crew. Thanks for tuning in, you guys. And then I've just, I've had a lot of people jump over onto YouTube and check out the Freight Coach channel over there. And they said that the audio and video quality on the stream is exponentially better. Javier Hernandez, good morning. Happy Friday, my man. Good to see you, brother. Rob Milton, good morning, Freight Gods. I love it. Sunny Sharma, good morning, Orange Shirt Gang. Happy Friday, y'all. Anthony Tuttle, good morning. Happy Friday, everyone. And Louis Montano, good morning to you, sir. Cole Mikulik, morning, sir. Good. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, so I had my man JD on yesterday. He, obviously he's with VHub, and we were talking about building, utilizing the platform for what it's really built for. And then furthermore, it's like, how do you integrate a lot of this into your current book of business? Excuse me, dude. Okay, I just, guys, I'm not OXO coffee. OXO's like, so I'm from the Midwest. Quick Trip is massive. For all my friends out in Texas, you got your Buseys. Everybody out west or out east, you got the Wawas and stuff. OXO is like the Quick Trip of Mexico, and they got like the best coffee on like down here that you can find. But anyways, like we were talking yesterday, you know, it is utilizing as you're building up your book of business, as you're building up your agency or whatever that looks like. It's utilizing other alternatives to really get in the door and get noticed by shippers out there. And that was one of the questions I got in my DMs. You guys, again, today is Q&A day. So if you have any sales or operations related questions, drop them in the chat. But I got that it's just like, how do you stand out, right? And like, this is a very common question that I get a lot is how do you stand out in the market and everything? And for me personally, it is by looking out there and seeing what tools are available to you, you know, what's at your disposal. And, you know, for me, it's just like having the ability to create a drop trailer pool or short-term storage or long-term storage, because again, when you're out there prospecting, when you're out there building your book of business, having access to more than I can provide you a price goes a very long way, because that first opportunity that you could get might be a short-term trailer solution. Because like I remember one of the accounts that I onboarded, this is at my last job, it was like 4 or 5 years ago. I was prospecting them, you know, again, I needed, you know, my specialization for the long time has been open deck and heavy haul. But the first opportunity that came from one of my prospects was a short-term trailer storage solution. So what I did was I had to go out there and find some rentals and position them at their facility up in Reno, Nevada. And then it was a 30-day, what turned into a 60-day trailer rental situation out there. And again, it's having the insight to know, like, what can I do to provide additional value into my customers, my prospects, because that first opportunity that comes about might not be a standard truckload move from, you know, Phoenix over to Albuquerque or anything like that. And it's having that additional information to be able to provide out there. So it's like when I have my friends at, you know, VHub or Green Screen come on the show and we're talking about a lot of these scenarios, is you guys, it's to provide a different solution out there that goes deeper than hey, I have access to trucks, hey, I can provide you a price or anything like that. It's really building out your service offerings, because, you know, again, I have a customer that we're working with right now where they've came to us about having a cross dock solution. And it's by, you know, finding those facilities in those destination cities. And then furthermore, it's keeping track of that. Like, all right, if they're going to need it in this market, what other markets are they going to need it in? And then it's taking that information that you've done for their past loads and then finding some of those facilities in those destination cities that you've delivered freight into, you know, like having that stuff at your disposal. Because again, you know, I've done early on in my career, I did a ton of food and beverage loads out there, and loads shift, loads get rejected and everything. And do you have the facilities in those networks to be able to bring those loads to? Because like we brought a ton of freight into South Florida going into a large grocery retailer out there. And our loads were getting rejected a lot due to pallet shifting. And we had to find a facility out there that we could go and bring in, get the loads reworked, repalletized, and then brought back into that large grocery retail distribution center that shall remain unnamed out here on the show. But it's, you know, again, it's having that out there and then knowing that, like, all right, if this distribution center in Miami, Florida has these issues, then let's go out to all the other distribution centers that we've been dealing with, and let's just find cross-docking or other facilities that we can bring this freight into and have these, you know, pallets rebuilt and whatever else. And then furthermore, disposal facilities as well. You know, I know a lot of people who watch the show do a lot of produce loads. What do you do if those loads get rejected due to mold or whatever else? You got to have a facility where you can bring these to and get this stuff off the driver's trailer. So again, it's having these other resources and then having this information so you have a solution in the moment for when things happen. Because trust me, you guys, I wish it was always as easy as things picking up on time and delivering on time and bills signed clean and everything else. So things are going to go wrong out there, but it's, having alternative solutions at your disposal so you can go out there and fix this, because we're paid as a broker, we're paid to fix shit at the end of the day, you guys. We're paid to fix stuff. We're paid that, like, this is why we make our money, is to find these solutions that we can bring out there to our customers in those moments and, again, make things happen time and time again. So if you're out there delivering consistently in to, a grocery retailer or something like that, and you've had a load rejected for whatever reason, start finding facilities that you can go in and cross dock, get product off people's trailers, dispose of that product in the event that it's a total loss. And again, utilize other tools at your network. Because again, how do you stand out in the crowd? It's going to come down to having a situation where, it's scenarios like this. And again, if you've never had a load rejected before, you might not know what to do in those instances. If you've never had a pallet shift in transit, you might not know what to do in those situations. So again, you guys, there are third-party warehouses out there that specialize in a lot of this stuff. So you can have this in your network because, again, is having the ability to, that was my mother-in-law. I'm at her office right now down in Mexico. But again, it's having the information about what to do in these events that things happen. Again, you need a drop trailer solution. Boom, you guys have that. And we're going to talk about that. You need a third-party warehouse to bring freight into that's been rejected. Boom, you guys look for that stuff, especially if you're starting to move freight, because again, you guys, things happen, right? And I think that that's what separates the pretenders from the players in this industry, is having those conversations on the front end, right? Because I talk about this all the time when I'm prospecting in my own brokerage right now. When I'm talking to my prospects, you guys, I'm out there discussing with them, hey, who's my after hours contact in the event that there's a breakdown, in the event that there's a delay, in the event that there's damage. Where do we go? What do we reach out to? How do we handle these? Because again, it's got to be as seamless as possible in those moments, you guys. So again, look out there. I think that's a great separator because it's not always going to be perfect. It's not always going to be easy. You need to have solutions in the event that those things happen. So again, I think having that and bringing that information to the table on the front end is going to be extremely valuable to you guys overall. What is up, fellow SPI agents in the house, you guys? Yeah, that's who I have my agency for through, you guys. I'm with SPI Logistics. They have been a phenomenal partner, you guys. At the end of the day, I'm very fortunate to have a deep partnership with them that I do. And the support that they have it's insane. So if you're out there right now and you're like, man, I want to jump out on my own, I want to run my own agency, or I want to run my own brokerage, they give you that opportunity, you guys. It goes deep. They have one of the best tech stacks in the industry. And they're a phenomenal partner, even from a capital perspective, you guys. Like I was talking about this on my podcast last week, is having adequate funding is crucial in business when you're first getting, when you're first starting out and really getting up and running there, you guys. So having a capital partner that takes care of everything. Like again, you guys, I get direct deposits every Friday. Straight up, I get direct deposits every single Friday, no questions asked. And again, I think that the agency model is something that is a phenomenal tool for you to utilize if you're thinking about taking that leap of faith and going out on your own and running your own business. It's great. Let me see, Philip Redicop. Good morning to you, sir. Thanks for tuning in. Cody Miller, dude, what is up, man? It's been a minute. Good morning. A good fucking morning, freight enthusiasts. Zena, she's in the house. Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. It is Freight Friday, you guys. And again, like I think, so I'm not going to go into too many details of this podcast that I just recorded that we're going to be releasing out there. But again, you guys, we were talking about the current market and what we are seeing out there, not only from a data perspective, but from an opportunities perspective. And Adolfo Rodriguez, buenos dias, senor. Let me see. What did he say here? Feliz Viernes. Happy Friday to you as well. but we were talking about this, and this also goes into one of the questions that I got in my DMs this week. It was based around, I'll summarize it. It was based around the opportunities, because again, they're out there prospecting nonstop. They're not getting a ton of results, but they want to know when I thought the market was going to shift. I don't know. Again, this is just my tinfoil. This isn't my tinfoil hat, excuse me. This is just based on my industry experience, you guys out there. And again, I'm going to be releasing a podcast where we really deep dove into this. I got a couple of my really good friends that we recorded on this. But again, at this point, I don't have a crystal ball, right? But Freight Coach Adamas' prediction is, and I've been saying this damn near since October of last year, is it's going to be Q4 of this year is when I think that inflection point is going to happen. I think it's going to be post Labor Day, when all the holiday freight is going to be coming in. I think that there's going to be an inflection point at that time where you're going to start to see tender rejections rise. And again, what does that mean? That means that there's going to be more and more opportunities that come available to you. I also think one way that you need to look at it as at this point in the year, July 7th of 2023, you guys, you are closer to the market shifting than not. So again, what does this mean? If you're out there on the spot market, I think you're closer to the rates improving than not. I think that if you're out there building your book of business and you're getting a ton of rejections, that they're good with their current network, they don't have enough freight for their current network, you are closer to that current network starting to drop the ball or roll the dice or go on to other customers because the other freight volumes are going to increase, because that's just naturally what happens, you guys. The volume and stuff is going to pick up from other shippers, and then people start rejecting those, right? And even if they're not rejecting, they stop replying, or they put a rate out there because they don't want to work at you guys. But again, just don't fall into this trap that there's no opportunities out there. There are opportunities everywhere in any freight market, you guys. You need to create your own opportunity, though. You cannot stop. I talked to my friend Chris Brewer with River City Logistics about this all the time. You have to have a relentless pursuit of developing your business and developing your book of business, you guys, because frankly, at the end of the day, people are going to get frustrated, because again, if you're feeling that frustration, and I felt it with the message that I got from this individual this week, I felt that frustration. I feel that fucking frustration, you guys. Again, I'm out here cold calling, cold emailing, building up I'm doing all of this with you guys, right? Like, I'm not immune to the rejection. I'm not immune to the non-responses and the hangups and all of that. I get that, all of that shit, just like you guys, right? But here's my thing. I am not going to quit. All right. Because again, I've experienced this before. I've seen this market before. You're going to see this market again. So for me, the best piece of advice I can always give is it sounds super simple. Just don't fucking quit, you guys. No matter what, do not quit. Do not stop reaching out to people. Do not stop making yourself present, making yourself noticeable in that market, because at the end of the day, you guys, a lot of people are frustrated right now. A lot of people haven't even hit their goals once this year, and they think that this year is shot, right? They're just going to give up, right? And then again, those habits start bleeding into the, imagine this, you're super frustrated because you're not onboarding new business. Then you know what? You think your current business doesn't fucking matter. And you're just going to stop replying to those opportunities out there. Or you know what? You're sick and tired of the fact that you don't think that you're making enough money on this freight. So you just stop working. You say it's not worth your time. I guarantee there's a lot of people out there who are going through that. So again, where does that freight go? Where does that opportunity go? It goes to the person who refuses to fucking stop, you guys. It goes to the person who refuses to quit, who's going to continue to reach out, who's going to continue to provide any information and value that you possibly can to your prospects. That freight is going to go somewhere, you guys. So, to me, it's always, I tell myself this often, damn near every single day, you guys, because again, I'm a human being as well. This shit's hard. All right. This shit is very hard to get in there. I'm one phone call away from changing my life, though, every single day. I'm one email away from changing my life every single day. That's what I tell myself, especially now when you're frustrated. You want to quit. You want to give up because the results aren't happening. You're one phone call away. That's literally the best piece of advice. And I was listening to a podcast, Ed Milet. I listen to his podcast multiple times a week because he releases multiple episodes. I'm fortunately a member of the RTA Syndicate, which is a group of entrepreneurs. You got to apply to get in. And I get, coached by him through there. But again, he talks about, and he was interviewing a guy, the CEO of a clothing brand called Tommy John. And they were talking about the amount of people out there who were almost successful, right? And if they actually realized that they were 1 or 2 points of contact away or 1 or 2 phone calls away from changing their life, how many more successful business owners, entrepreneurs, sales reps, all of that stuff. And I added a couple of those in there because they were talking about entrepreneurs in particular. But how many more successful ones would be out there if they actually realized that you were 1 or 2 phone calls away from finding the success that you're looking for? So for me, you guys, that's one thing to always keep in mind. And I live by that. I truly live by that every single day, is I'm 1 phone call away, you guys. That was a really good episode, you guys. It's Ed Milet. I don't know if you guys can see this on there. It was Build Your Business Empire with Tom Patterson. That was the podcast that I was listening to where they were talking about this. So if you're in that moment, like this individual was who DM'd me, you're very frustrated right now by the lack of progress that you think that you're experiencing. Go out there and listen to this podcast. Is on top of mine, right? Because you're already listening to this shit. But again, go listen to that one. You guys go listen to that episode and see, like, you're not alone in that. And I think that that's one thing that really beats people down. Fuck, it beats me down, right? It beats me down in the moment where I think I'm the only one who is experiencing that in those moments. And that's not the case, you guys. We're all going through that. So just don't fucking quit. Let everybody else quit. Same thing with all my owner ops out there. If you've made it this far in it, you're closer to shit recovering and rebounding and getting out there and making it happen. If you've made it this far, don't quit. Don't stop. Let me see here. Carla, what is up? Carla Isted, good morning. Thank you for tuning in. All right. And as always, you guys, if you guys have any other questions, drop them in the chat. Sales or operations related questions, drop them in the chat. I'll answer them live on the show. Another one that I got. How do I quote freight? I wanted to answer this one because there's different iterations out there. Again, I think that every question should be asked. And if you're having trouble quoting freight, by all means, we're going to talk about this. What is up, my man? Dude, Jimenez, what's up? I love you too, man. Dude, I sent you a text a while ago and you ghosted me, but it's all right. I know you're busy, bro. We'll catch up soon. But again, it is, how do I quote freight? And again, if you've never quoted a load before, you wouldn't know where to start, right? And I released a podcast episode this morning, ironically, on the need for training in this industry and how it's a continued investment in your team. This isn't something that you can just do for a day or 2 weeks and then walk away from it, and then you're done, and then your people just figure it out. But again, when we're talking about quotes, for example, as always, you guys, I don't know if you can see that little right there in the upper corner, but my friends over at Green Screens have a great tool for this, you guys. Greenscreens.ai/the freight coach. Hit them up. Check it out, you guys. I'm literally using this inside of my business right now. And I talked about this yesterday, and I'll talk about this every day, and I'll scream this from the fucking mountaintops. Since I've implemented them inside of my organization, you guys, we have increased at least 20% of freight won by the accuracy of the data that they have inside of there. And again, that helps. But again, if you don't have any idea on how to quote freight, again, I personally think that if you're going for a short-term strategy, your best bet is always going to be just throw it up there on the spot market, right? And go off of the spot market rate. Because there's a lot of people which just live and die by the spot market. But again, I think if you are out there and you're looking, this is why I always go into the niche, you guys. I live and die by this, because if you've never quoted a load before, a great strategy, is to talk to trucking companies, right? Call trucking companies. Not everybody's going to give you a price, but you know what? More people will than not. All right. So I want to remove this nobody's out there to help you mentality that it's seemingly all over social media, because they are out there to help you. But I think, talking to a couple of trucking companies and really, if you're trying to find a price that's going to work, I think that for me, this is an arbitrary number. All right. So anybody who's listening to this isn't what I'm fucking telling you to quote or anything like that. But if you're looking at like a 500-mile run that's out there, you can go, because again, you look at current fuel prices. This gives you an idea on what people need to run their trucks. The average truck gets like 4 to 5 miles a gallon. Again, this is just very base level information. The national average for diesel is $3.78 a gallon. I get that from the EIA. You guys, so again, if you look at it from that perspective, what is that? Because that's the biggest expense on a truck right there. So that's like, again, if you're looking at it from just a normal thing, 70 cents a mile is what it costs to run that truck, just from a fuel perspective. And then again, you go out there and you think, there's a lot of information that's at your disposal right now. So again, the average cost to run a truck right now is $2. I think it was like $2.10 for a dry van right now. So a break-even number. So again, you've never quoted a load before, but you found out it costs $2.10 to run a truck to break even. On 1,000 miles, you're at essentially $2,100 for that truck to break even. That's probably not the most profitable number that's out there. So if I'm going to bid, you figure in the trucking company needs to make a little bit of money on that. So say $2,300 is the number you come up with. Then what's your markup? I think that in dry van freight, we're going to go off of this example right now. You're going to be sitting at 10% in this market max if you're going to win freight. Now, yes, somebody can say, oh, you can make more money than that, yada, yada, yada. I get it, but this is just this example, you guys. So I'm sitting here saying it's 1,000 miles. It costs $2,100 to break even for that trucking company on that 1,000 miles, so they're factor in a little bit of a profit margin on there. Again, this is just an example. So you're at $2,300 is what they're going to probably quote you on that to factor in a little bit of profit. And then you're at a 10% margin. So you're going to bid $2,530 on that load. Now, granted, there are a ton of different factors that go into this, you guys. It's the destination, it's the pickup state. I get all of that. But the question was, how do I bid on freight? Because it seemed like this person had never quoted on a load before. That's where I would start. The beauty of where you can bid on freight is right now there's a ton of information that's out there. Again, hit up my friends over at Green Screen. You guys, they have a great tool. But if you're out there where you're like, I just want to know what to price, again, look at that. The average cost, break even for a truck right now, I think is like $2.10 a mile. If it's higher than that, again, you guys, I'm just trying to help this individual out. So you look at it, that's the break-even number for the trucking company. And then what they're going to quote you is they're going to throw in their profit margin. Again, look at that. So they might, again, it might be $200 or they might quote you $2,400. And this is a dry van load. So say they quoted you $2,400 on 1,000 miles. How do you bid to your customer in this current market, and really in any market for a dry van? You guys, you're really going to sit at about 10% profit margin to remain competitive right now. So I would go in there and bid $2,500 or $2,600. So you're going to make a couple $100 on that load. That's where I would start. Again, you could argue this and go right ahead. I'm just trying to show somebody who's never quoted a load before how I would go in there, you guys, because not everybody out there works for a large company. Not everybody out there has the experience you can call. Frankly, I get offended when I see people ask legitimate questions like that on other social media platforms and people just fucking tear them apart, right? Like, fuck you. How do you know this is why you suck and everything? Fuck every single one of you who has that mentality. People are out there trying to make a living and build up their livelihood. And you know what? When it comes down to it, not everybody's afforded the training or the resources to figure these things out. So I want them to come and DM me on social media platforms because I'll answer your questions. I think the only questions out there that are stupid are the ones that you won't ask. That I truly believe in that, you guys. So yeah, that's going to be it. That was a quick 30. Holy shit. That was really quick. I love it. Cody Miller says 3 Feet from Gold, classic reference from the subject. Dude, that's another really good book. Think and Grow Rich is a very, very good book, you guys. I've read that every single year for the last 3 years, and it gets better as my business grows because it's more and more applicable out there. Zach Lonergan says you can make up the difference either by half or full with VHAP. That's right. That's right. Hit my man up. I love it, Zach. I believe when you first start quoting, you need to appreciate and understand the carrier costs to run the lane and understand how much supply and demand, then find a way to sell win-win for all. Amen to that. That's other very good advice out there. Adolfo Rodriguez says, thank you for the info. Anthony Tuttle drops at 100. But hey, you guys, that's going to be it. I'll be back on Monday in studio. As always, you guys, if you guys got value in this, subscribe and share the show. Rank the show on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, all of that, you guys. And yeah, do that. But that's going to be it, you guys. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and we'll be talking to you soon.